All right, let's get you back out to KC where our insider is standing by from a chilly Arrowhead Stadium. Josina Anderson. Joe, interesting comments there from a couple of the Chiefs, and I think the through line was their performance in the moments that Patrick Mahomes was not on the field. Henny coming up big in that spot, but just as a franchise, as a team, how did experience maybe serve them in those moments?
It absolutely served them a great deal. I mean, you think about a starting quarterback going out for a team, that could be devastating for anybody that does not have the experience or the familiarity. But literally, Kansas City has been there, done that. You think about January 2021 in this stadium doing that against the Browns. You know, Patrick Mahomes goes out with that concussion, and he has to come in, and they have battled through that before. Now, maybe a couple of Cleveland Browns fans watching this might be reliving some pain because that Rashard Higgins touchdown that should have counted didn't count, and so now they kind of in similar shoes with the Jacksonville Jaguars not being able to get it done. But I tell you what really stands out to me from this game is just how close, even despite all of that it was still there for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, prime opportunity with the Chiefs starting quarterback not being in the game and both sides still trying to find their rhythm in this inclement weather. But I was talking to Frank Clark in the locker room, and I thought one of the key moments in this game too was after, you know, the Chiefs score, they get their touchdown, the Jaguars respond, and then on their third series, I believe it was 2nd and 15, 2nd and long, and Frank Clark comes up with that sack to really set the tone and kind of get his alpha pose on the Jaguars to let them know, you know, don't even think about it because it's not going to happen. And that was really a time that they needed to get that momentum. Obviously, when Trevor was unable to find Christian Kirk on that long 50-yard plus reception as well. So just some key moments. But, you know, the Chiefs, such a business-like tone in the locker room. You're going to see the interview that I did with Frank Clark, and they got the slow jams and all this other stuff, you know, so good vibes for them. And I really feel like they were just kind of, it's crazy. Like normally you'll see, you're supposed to be hearing hip hop and all this other stuff. It was a 5 heartbeats. But anyways, you know, they were able to kind of lean into that experience, been there, done that. And obviously too, the defense coming up with some big plays at the end there and to pull out the win.
I do want to talk about those defensive plays and the performance here because oftentimes this Chiefs defense doesn't get the shine maybe that they deserve because of what the offense can accomplish. And it was those 2 late takeaways, the interception and the fumble, which was in many ways a gift that really sealed this performance. If you're the Jaguars, yes, it was a productive season, Joe, but you're going to be looking back at these 2 plays as the moments in which the season ended.
Well, and you really think about it because Doug Peterson really sets the tone for the Jaguars in terms of not only them being the cardiac kids, but having that belief that they can do it. I mean, you know, they just did it against the Chargers. This is a guy that obviously has the experience, but also has just the kind of flair and the relaxation to, you know, take risk and what have you. And so you know that they were coming out of the locker room with that sort of fortitude, but it seemed like every time they tried to put their foot on the gas, it just wasn't going for them. Agnew with that fumble and Watson coming up with that interception at the end. I mean, you think about it, one of those was with 5:43 left in the game, so there was still time, and it was still time even with a minute to go because they were just down by 7, but it just wasn't going their way. But so much progress that this Jaguars team has made, 2 years being at the bottom of the league to, you know, leading the division, and Doug Peterson coming in there really being able to establish his relationship with general manager Trent Baalke, them to get the crucial free agents that we talked about in the pregame. So I think this was a bountiful step for them to take. Obviously not where they wanted to be, but it's certainly a good platform to spring forth for next season.
No matter how many times the playoffs roll to Kansas City, it's always going to be cold. Josina, thank you.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.